The stage is being set for a massive global rice shortage. This wasn't supposed to happen. For months, this is what Michael Schneider has been saying. He says, I've been writing article after article about the rapidly growing global food crisis, but even though drought is devastating so many other crops over the planet, I thought that there would be plenty of rice in 2023. Unfortunately, I was wrong. As you'll see below, some of the biggest rice producers in the entire world are being hit really hard, and rice production is going to be way below expectations this year. Of course, rice is one of the primary staples that poor nations depend on, and so this is a really big deal. If there is a serious shortage of rice in 2023, that is going to have enormous implications for all of us. An announcement that India just made should be front page news all over the globe right now. India usually accounts for over 40% of all worldwide rice shipments, but now they have placed several severe restrictions on all future exports this year. India banned exports of broken rice and imposed a 20% duty on exports of various grades of rice, as the world's biggest exporter of the grain tries to augment supplies and calm local prices after below average monsoon rainfall curtailed planting. India exports rice to more than 150 countries, and any reduction in its shipments would increase upward pressure on food prices, which are already rising because of drought, heat waves, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Did you catch the last sentence? 150 different nations depend on rice from India alone. So where are they going to get their rice? Normally, India exports more rice than the next four largest exporters combined. India's rice exports touched a record 21.5 million tons in 2021, more than the combined shipments of the world's next four biggest exporters of grain, which are Thailand, Vietnam, Pakistan, and the United States. Europe certainly is not going to make up the difference. Italy is the biggest rice producer in the European Union, and it's the biggest projected that rice production in that nation will be down it's being projected rice production in Italy will be down 30% this year due to the endless drought that Europe is currently experiencing. The unfavorable weather has already taken a serious toll on the rice industry. Estimates say farmers are expecting to lose around 30% of their yield this year, and the industry has already hemorrhaged around $3 billion as a result of the drought. Many of the most stricken fields are in the regions of Lombardy and Piedmont, which together produce around 90% of Italy's rice. Rice production is going to be way down in the United States as well. California usually produces about 20% of all U.S. rice, but this year a severe lack of water for agricultural purposes is making things exceedingly difficult for rice growers in the state. Rice farmers in Colusa County, 60 miles north of Sacramento, received 18% of the federal water shipments to which they are entitled, far less than normal and too little for many to grow the crop at all. Even in a drought, rice farmers have been able to get a fairly high percentage of the water that they had rights to, said Tim Johnson, chief executive of the California Rice Commission. Now they're experiencing drought at a level they've never seen before. What we're witnessing is truly unprecedented. I know that this may be hard to believe, but it's being reported that about 300,000 of the 550,000 acres committed to rice growing in California will go without harvest this year. And the following comes from Zero Hedge. New satellite imagery shows a large swath of California's rice fields has been left barren without harvest as fears of a mini dust bowl emerge due to diminishing water supplies. Kurt Richer, a third-generation rice farmer in Colusa, the rice capital of California, told San Francisco Chronicle that the fields upon fields of the grain have already transformed into a wasteland. A report via the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows about 300,000 of the 550,000 acres committed to rice growing in California will go without harvest. This could potentially drive up sushi prices nationwide because most of the rice produced in the state is for just that. Of course, many other crops are being hit extremely hard as well. California normally produces approximately a third of our vegetables and about 2/3 of our fruits and nuts, and the lack of production this year is already starting to show up on our store shelves. High temperatures in the western U.S. hitting production industry, damaging crops, shrinking shipments, and leaving fewer leafy greens and fruits on supermarket shelves. A California grower said some of his lettuce leaves are turning brown and melting in the fields because of crop diseases intensified by the high temperatures. In Pennsylvania, a retailer said its stores went a week without having strawberries to sell. A New York distributor has substituted honeydew melons for watermelons, which have become scarce. Supermarkets say they're giving less shelf space to products with weather-induced discolorations, bruises, or burns. Stores are cutting prices on poor quality items to avoid getting stuck with them, and increasingly receiving products from Canada, Florida, New Jersey, and Ohio instead of California, long the go-to source for you as grocers. This crisis is only going to get worse in the months ahead. I've been encouraging my readers to get prepared for a really long time now, and I hope that you have taken that advice. All over the planet, agricultural production is going to be way below original projections this year. For example, just check out what's happening to olive oil production in Spain. In July, temperatures broke records to top 40 degrees Celsius, that's 104.5 degrees Fahrenheit, across parts of France, Spain, Italy, and Portugal. By early August, sweltering heat and a lack of rainfall had pushed almost 2/3 of the land in the European Union into drought conditions, according to the European Drought Observatory. Olive oil producers have been hit hard. Kyle Holland, a pricing analyst for oilseeds and grains at Mintech, a commodities data company, expects a dramatic reduction of between 33% and 38% in Spain's olive oil harvest and begins in October. Spain is the world's biggest producer of olive oil, accounting for more than 2/5 of global supply last year, according to the International Olive Council. Greece, Italy, and Portugal are also major producers. For a lot more data points on the rapidly growing global food crisis, please see my previous article, A List of 33 Things We Know About the Coming Food Shortages. None of us have ever faced anything like this. The food that will not be harvested in the months ahead will not be on our store shelves next year, 2023. Food prices are going to rise so absolutely ridiculous levels, and the head of the UN is already warning of multiple famines next year. This is not a drill. Food shortages really are coming, and our world will be changing in wild and unpredictable ways. And this is by Michael Schneider. He says, my name is Michael Schneider. My brand new book entitled 7-Year Apocalypse is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 5 other books that are available on Amazon, including The Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, Get Prepared Now, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I am doing, and one way that you can really help, is by sending digital copies as gifts through Amazon to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, The Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. This is what I'm doing here. He says the material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is a great help. These are such troubled times, and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us that the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to ask Jesus to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on The Most Important News by Michael Schneider. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.